name is Amy Gammon and I'm from St. Charles, Missouri. So I started dancing when I was 3 years old, a long time ago, and my sister got me involved with it. I just would watch her dance, and my mom signed up, and then from then on out I found that it was a passion that I've had all along and have never stopped dancing since. So it's in my blood. The first time that I got on stage that I can go back and remember, it was just happiness. You know, I felt like when I was looking at my audience, I could make them move somehow without speaking, and it was a really cool opportunity for me to express a story or an emotion without words. So I felt happiness, it was excitement, and I felt like that was my true passion, was performing on stage. So when I first came to Lindenwood, I did the dance team, and as I started getting involved with the dance team, I found out about the dance program. Getting involved with that, I was able to also teach a little bit more at the studio, so I was finding all these different obstacles and awesome opportunities I had no idea exist until I was given it. And so I started teaching a lot at my studio and realizing that I had a whole different passion for teaching. As much as I love to perform, I also love to be in the studio teaching students, seeing them grow and succeed. And the second I graduated, I realized that, Lindenwood also has an amazing education program as well. I'll look into the master's program, and the second I walked into the master's, I was learning so many new different things I never knew existed before. So it kind of sucked me in right away, and I was like, I think I could do this at the collegiate level. And student teaching and working with all these different students, it just kind of opened up my eyes to different opportunities for me to go to, and I love the collegiate level. It's a different appreciation that I feel from the students. There's so many things that allow me to continue to teach and to see students succeed, to see them grow, to see them become successful, even if it's something so simplistic. And I'm not talking about getting a certain trick or anything. It's just having them come into the studio, smile, be moved by something, working with others, working on socializing with everybody. It's just the environment that the classroom brings me keeps me going. They inspire me every single day, and that's incredible. I don't know if a lot of people can say this, but I truly love what I do, and it's not a job. It's not work. It's passion. As a performer, probably injury is probably the scariest thing. If something happens to me, or whether it's an injury or anything that could really affect my career, what I do for a living. And so I would say that the scariest thing in what I do would be an injury instance if something happens like that. It would be scary if dance wasn't in my life. So if I somehow didn't even become involved with it, that'd be terrifying for me because I love it so much. But I would say injury would probably be the scariest thing for me at this point, just to make sure I keep my body healthy. I love so many genres of dance, and within each genre, I hang on to artists like Tap, Fred Astaire, Gene Kelly. Those are my go-to. Jazz, musical theater, Bob Fosse. They have such memorable contributions that they give to the dance community. But even the pop, Michael Jackson, Bruno Mars, those are all great. Justin Timberlake, they're all great too. But if I were to say inspiration or role model, I would have to give a good shout out to Trisha Zweier, who's another faculty member here at Lindenwood, and she always, as an inspiration, as a role model, always pushed me to go the next mile. I would have this, but where can I go next? And I think that's something that's really awesome for me to go through, because I don't know if I'd be where I'm at if I didn't have that drive, that push behind me. So as far as a favorite dancer, there's thousands for me, but as an inspiration and a role model, Trisha's done quite a bit for me. One of my pieces is musical theater Tap, and this is a class, it's a special topics course that Lindenwood brought, and it was kind of a let's see who signs up kind of course, and then 30 students later, the class is huge. It was awesome, it was incredible. And I was talking to some of the other professors and was like, what if, we should set a piece, see what happens, because you can learn all these steps, but to put it on a stage could be a whole different story. So I worked with all these musical theater students and created a piece. It's Dr. Jazz, and it's from the musical Jelly's Last Jam. It's heavy in tap, and it's a good combination of some rhythm tap as well as some, Broadway musical theater tap. So I felt like that was a good balance of different genres for them to go through. We met once a week for an hour and a half. Some of them have put a tap shoe on for the very first time and is going to be in a performance, which is incredible. But really the inspiration inspiration behind it was finding a musical that allows the students to really learn some intricate tap movement, but also act out a story along the way and bringing in that jazz era. And I think that it was a really good opportunity for them to act and dance at the same time.
Dr. Jazz has got glory all around him, yes he has. And when the world goes wrong, you got the blues. He's the man what makes you get out both your dancing shoes. Yes, he has. Ain't no medicine known to man can make you feel good like the doctor can. Only name that you need to know. World's greatest one-man show. Even never, whoever he was, couldn't play jazz the way Johnny does. World's central, give me Dr. Jazz. Swing with the roll, feel that rhythm ripping through you, right down to your soul. So spread the word wherever you may go. You've seen the light tonight, now you know. Plays his name across the sky, flaming letters 10 feet high. J.R. Morton, Dr. Jazz.
The second piece is called That Swing, and it's with 10 dancers in the dance department. And my sole purpose for that piece was entertainment. I wanted them, the second the song came on, I wanted them to make the audience smile. That's something that, as personally myself, that I try to do when I'm a dancer on stage. I love more than anything to see the audience smile and nod their head with the music and, you know, be in beat with me. So that was really the goal. It wasn't a central theme. I found a lot of random kind of jazz music that people did remix to and add some beats into it. So they're able to bounce back and work on accenting and musicality with music while also just putting a smile on people's faces.
Beauty queen, a man's desire never seen. She was everybody's dream, a real fox. He was tall and debonair, perfect teeth and shiny hair. You never saw a jaw so square. Oh, what a guy. Well, times are changing and rearranging. We're going back where we began. A slow dance, a romance. The bad boy had his chance. We're gonna feel like Peter Pan. Forever young, are you feeling? Forever young, we are feeling. Forever young, are you feeling? Forever young, 'cause we all wanna feel forever young. All you beauty queens out there, feel forever young. Oh, come on.
Lead me to a swanky place. Hear the sound of violins. Now let romance begin. Sway with me. Come on, darling, waltz with me. Be a ballroom blitz for me. Shake my banana skirt.
Boy, what you doing around my jazz?
You found the funk.
Now you have to swing it.
Swing.
Jazz.
Swing it.
Jazz.
That's it.
Jazz.
Yeah, you feel it in your heart.
Jazz.
Ah, feel your heartbeat.
Jazz.
Yeah, that's what the swing is. Listen to the jazz band funk. Listen to the jazz band rock. Listen to the jazz play swing. Listen to the jazz band funk.
Now you have to swing it.
Move it up.
around my house, big bad.
I always have a plan, and every choreographer's, I feel like, completely is all different in their methods and processes. But I always have my music, and I always have a big chunk of it in my head that I want to see on them. And then through the process and through rehearsals, I typically go pretty fast. One of my pieces actually learned the entire dance in 6 hours. We had a little bit of a crunch time due to scheduling and trying to go through the winter concert and get into this and spring break and all of that. That was really the only time we had. So we tried it this year and see if they can learn it in a week, and they did it in 6 hours. So that's incredible. So that process had to go by really fast. I threw a lot of choreography at them, but it gave them a taste of what it really feels like in the industry, and learning fast is, such an important component behind auditioning and all of that. So it gave them a real life experience.
My name is Tracy Dupre, and I'm from St. Charles, Missouri. I decided to pursue dance because I couldn't imagine life without it. The creativity, the freedom, the excitement that it brings, there's nothing else in life that I've experienced like it. My mother also, she grew up dancing, and she went on to become a teacher, so I guess you could say it's in the genes. She put me in dance when I was 3, so I really can never imagine a time where I have not been dancing. Well, when I was on stage for the first time, I was actually 3, so I really don't have recollection of it. But my mom did show me a video, and I was all smiles and skipping across the stage, and I actually went up to the stage and saw my dad and waved hello. So I guess that's when the dancing bug hit me. But whether I'm teaching or I'm on stage, the feeling is the same. There's nothing like dancing. So these days I consider myself more of an educator and choreographer, but the feeling remains the same. Whether I'm in the studio dancing or on stage, there's no other feeling than dance. It's kind of surreal for me. It's like when I'm dancing, the world just kind of stops, time stops, everything fades away, and it's a moment of true bliss in that moment. So I've always known I've wanted to teach. I've always loved dance. I've loved teaching, so I've always known I've wanted to combine them both. It's just felt natural for me. I love connecting with the students, and I've always loved exploring and giving them the passion that I have for dance. So when I was at college, I had such great mentors that were really inspiring. So I wanted to give that inspiration to these students. So many people ask why Lindenwood, and to be honest, my answer is why not? Inspiration for one. If you've ever walked the campus, it's absolutely beautiful. The trees, the architecture, it's really inspiring. So I make it a point once a semester with all my classes. We take a tour outside. We walk the campus, and I have them write down what inspires them. And we take that back into the classroom, and they create a composition on it. And it kind of is an abstract way of looking at it, but it's absolutely beautiful. Secondly, I would have to say the student body. I work with both gen ed and dance majors, and they are a joy to work with. They're inspiring, they inspire me to come to work every day, and I love seeing them grow. Lastly, I would have to say it is the coworkers that I work with. I am truly blessed in my job in the respect that everybody comes here willing to work. They come here with the same passion that I do. They love to see the students grow and become inspired just as much as we were. So I guess it's really, again, it's a blessing to be here. My favorite part about being a dance professor is I get to share my craft with others and explore new avenues of dance every day. I adore challenging the students, and I get to enjoy watching them explore their path and help them along the way. There's really nothing more rewarding than watching a student create a new work, master a new technique. It's really, there's nothing better than it. And one of my favorite parts is watching the progression of each student. It's really amazing to watch a student come in their first day of class as a freshman, and when they leave as a senior, to watch that growth and just watch where they have become and watch their journey. The scariest thing about dance, it's not actually dance itself. Dance is actually exhilarating. The scariest part, I think, for me is that our bodies are our tools and our instruments, and I know one day that will fade with age. So again, dance isn't scary. I think the fact is that one day I might not be able to dance like I am now, and to imagine a life without dance, I think that's the scariest part. It's hard to say who my favorite dancer is. I think it's all relevant, and I think they all add something to the art. As far as tap, I would have to say Nicholas Brothers, Gene Kelly, Gregory Hines, ballet, Mikhail Baryshnikov, contemporary, Martha Graham, Jose Limon, Lester Horton. I try to utilize everything that they've brought to the art in my dance and my choreography. For instance, even in tap dance, I try to utilize some of the theories that Martha Graham uses and try to create some abstract material. So again, I love to study all of these artists, so to pinpoint one dancer, it's really hard. I think they've all inspired my choreography and what I teach in the class. So my current dance is a hybrid of jazz and burlesque dancing, and actually the students have inspired me in this. I normally do tap dances, and normally in my classes every semester we do a burlesque jazz piece, and they absolutely love it, and they've been begging me to do a piece, so that's what I chose to do for this semester.
The dress is Chanel, the shoes YSL, the bag is Dior, agent provocateur. My address today, LA by the way, above Sunset Strip, the hills all the way. My rings are by Webster, it makes their heads twirl. They all say, darling, what did you do for those pearls? What? I am a good girl. I adore Rodeo L'Amour, breakfast polo lounge, then poolside for sure. The chateau for cocktails, the courtyard at night, Dantana's for dinner, the Helen's divine. You know I have found the words going around. They all say my feet never do touch the ground. What? I am a good girl. Takes his time, I'll go for any time. I'm a fast moving gal who likes them slow. Got no use for fancy driving, wanna see a guy arriving low. I'll be satisfied, electrified to know a guy what takes his time. A hurry up affair, always give the air, wouldn't give any Russian gentle smile. I would go for any single who would condescend to linger a while. What a lullaby will be supplied to have a guy who takes his time. Oh, a guy who takes his time. Go for any time. A hasty job really spoils a master's touch. I don't like a big commotion. I'm a demon for slow motion or such. Why should I deny that I would die to know a guy who takes his time? There is a few know no, and you can't keep a good girl down. Club looking for a good time, gonna make that shake that money on a dime. Don't need a sugar daddy, she can work it just fine. Up on the table, she'll be dancing all night. Baby, don't just come to life. Under the spotlight, all the girls wanna fall in line. We say, here come the ladies, about to give a little show. Here go the boys, they gotta show a little more. Get it up, get it up. This is not a test. Get it up, gotta give me your best. So get your ass up, show me how you finesse. Get it up, won't let you rest. Get it up, this is not a test. Get it up, gotta give me your best. So get your ass up, show me how you finesse. A little bit of naughty, it's a little bit nice. She's a whole lot of glam, sweat, sugar, sex, spice. Just shimmy, shimmy, strut, strut, give a little what up on the table, we'll be dancing all night. Everybody just come to life. Under the spotlight, all the boys wanna fall behind. We say, here come the ladies, about to give a little show. Here go the boys, they gonna show a little more. Get it up, get it up. Get it up, get it up. Get it up, get it up. Gotta give me your best. So get your ass up, show me how you finesse. Get it up, won't let you rest. Get it up, this is not a test. Get it up, gotta give me your best. So get your ass up, show me how you finesse. Okay, girls, let's show them how it's done. It ain't over till we say, and we've only just begun. Let me hear you say, yeah.
My creative process is actually different with every piece of choreography. It's not the norm. I don't go into a studio and start to create. I actually have a notebook that I carry with me because I have ideas that pop up at random times, so I just write them down. My husband kind of laughs at me because I will come up with an idea in the shower or when it's time to go to bed. So then I actually take that and go back into the classroom and play with the dancers. And then from there, it's like sometimes my ideas work, sometimes they don't. So then I kind of manipulate it on the dancers and we put it all together.